Hello and welcome to PS Best Friends, episode 59 for the week of July 3rd, 2018. As always, we are the PlayStation podcast by the community, for the community. We come to you each and every Tuesday to give you the rundown on all the latest PlayStation news you could possibly need. This week, Jeff and I are doing it alone. Miguel is not able to make it, but we're still going to give you a solid week. Not a lot of news, but we got some editorializing that we're going to do this week. I have a fun story. But I would like to tell that fun story to the Brooklyn bad boy, Jeffrey Mizrahi.
Solid save. A lot of content, not so much news this week, but let's get into it. So what is your story? You hyped it up, right? You got a
okay, so it's not that big a deal to anyone but me. Okay, so I'm going to preface it with that. But right before we started recording, I got a phone call from GameStop. So what happened was I now have a gaming setup on like a PC gaming setup. I won't get into the details of that because I hate myself.
Laptop.
So
just for context.
What I did was I have two Xbox Ones rather. I had an original launch edition that was crap in the bed anyways, and then I had my 1S, which I kept. I ended up trading in the Xbox One, the original, and then a bunch of accessories and stuff I don't use anymore. And then a couple games that it was like a wash where I traded in Tales of Berseria for PS4 and got it for the same price on Steam. And so, I not getting into really the details of that. That's not really the point of the story. I got a lot of Steam credit, and then I bought some eShop cards for Fortnite, they did this weird promotion where you buy a $20 eShop card and you get an extra $15. So it's free money. It was some kind of Fortnite promo. So that was cool. I got her an extra card. But so I trade all in, and then it was yesterday, so I don't remember how many days later it was. It was almost a week later. I'm like, I want to watch Star Wars. And I was like, oh, fuck. And I'm like, wait a minute. I go and I grab my collection. Now, mind you, I don't have it with me. It's in the other room, but I have the original complete saga. The original box, the one that, where it's Tatooine and it's Luke walking one way and little Anakin walking the other way. The original version, the pre-Disney release of the complete saga.
On what format?
On Blu-ray.
Okay.
I grab it, I pull it out, Phantom Menace is missing. Ooh. I left it in the fucking Xbox. Damn. I had a fucking meltdown yesterday, dude. I know, people joke, oh, Phantom Menace sucks. Yeah, fuck you. You know what I mean? Star Wars is my thing.
If I lost a copy of 2012, on DVD in my system, I'd still be pissed off.
But not even that. It's if it was that, I was even saying, we were watching Black Panther the other week. It was Black Panther, whatever. I got the digital version. I'll go buy the same copy off the shelf. They don't make this set anymore. So I can go buy a replacement Phantom Menace disc, but it's not going to match the set. And so for me, it's that's one of the few things that is my collection, you know what I mean? I'm not a big collector of just general stuff, but that's one of those things where it's I have my Dark Knight trilogy, Nolan trilogy. I have, both my Hobbit extended cut box sets on Blu-ray, and then I have Star Wars, and then Fast and Furious, but that's a little lower tier. And so I was really proud that I had this this pre-Disney release. I love the box art so much more than the re-released box art, and I just had a fucking meltdown. So the phone call I got, I called the manager, Mike, earlier. I doubt anyone that lives in Branford, Connecticut knows, or anyone listens that is from Branford, Connecticut. But if you are, give a shout out to Mike. He's the manager at GameStop. I guess I called him early this morning. Or they open at 10. I called him at 11. And I was like, hey, man, I know it's a long shot, but do you know if anyone found this disc or anything? And he's like, well, I can look through. I mean, if it was, because they considered it quote unquote damaged because it had scratches on the top because it's now, the original Xbox.
Why didn't they test the Xbox, hit the eject button? They don't test it in front of you when you trade it in?
They're supposed to, but and that's what he said too. He's like, they should have checked the disk drive.
Wait, they turned it on in front. They didn't even turn it on in front of you when you traded it in.
Mm-hmm. They checked the controller. They didn't even check the console. So I could have gave him a busted one, but that's not the point.
Could have been missing the internals, literally.
Yeah. But so I guess it was the most freak whirlwind kind of thing that happened with him, where he's like, yeah, I'll do my best to check for you if it didn't go out already, because if it was resellable, in good enough condition where they could just put it back on their shelf, it would have stayed there. But because it was the OG Xbox with that shiny kind of top, and it gets scratched up easy because my cats are assholes and they jump on it, it was listed as damaged, quote unquote. They would just swap a new thing on it and a new casing on it and sell it. But so it was scheduled to go out today, and I guess the UPS guy came a half hour after I called him, And I guess they had so many boxes, the UPS guy was like, all right, I'll come back later. And so like it gave him a chance to go through. He said there was like 30 something boxes that they had to go through to find my Xbox, but so he just called me and they got it. So they set it aside for me. So after this, I'm gonna go save my save Naboo. So that's my anticlimactic story. Is I was irresponsible, lost Star Wars, got Star Wars back because I got lucky.
A cautionary tale to always remember to.
I also lost my plug and play battery kit for the controller I traded in, but I was like, I'm not gonna push my luck.
Wow, they really do not check any of that shit.
Don't check anything.
Yeah, in a similar story, I had to Billy because we game share on the PS4, and I sent it in for repair, and I didn't deactivate it before I sent it in, and then they wiped it like. So my brother had to do the deactivate all thing, which you can only do like once every couple months or something, you know.
I think it's like twice a year or something stupid.
Yeah, make sure you sign out of shit, takes discs out before you trade it in. Good story overall. But yeah, so not really much has been happening in terms of gaming this week. I think historically this has to be like the quietest week. Like not even month, I'd say, because sometimes there are those surprise July releases, but like the first week of July, last week of June is like always super quiet,
Yeah. Have you been playing anything? Because I've been playing a lot of stuff. Miguel and I have been continuing to play Hunt Showdown, and that game is so cool. It's so fun, and it's perfect for us because it's duos, and you never want to play anything with us, so we can play without you. And then Dead by Daylight on PC, it looks kind of like but it still looks better than the PS4 version. But the gameplay it's so fun.
So you guys were having issues finding players on the PS4 version of that. Is that any better?
I was having problems on the PS4 version.
Okay.
But PC, you load right into a match.
Yeah, way faster. Awesome.
It looks like PC servers are way more populated.
But yeah, what I've been playing, more Destiny, some more Mario Tennis Aces.
Gotta put more time in that.
The adventure mode is just bad, I think.
Not good,
but
not good.
Yeah, but the tournament stuff, just the playing pick-up matches, I do enjoy. So I'm a little conflicted in what I want to, if I'm good. That's a GameFly game also for me. Also, I started Runner 3, if that sounds unfamiliar. It started off, of course, as the Bit Trip Runner series. Shout out to OG WiiWare days, when all the Bit Trip games were populated there. But yeah, Runner 3, it's not that 8-bit style anymore. It's like the 2.5D, or it's like 3D, but 2D. And it's a runner game. It's extremely difficult. I just beat the first world. I think that's enough for me to like say like I played enough of this game because like I'm not going to beat it. Like it's way too hard,
I was looking at that game, like a trailer for it, I think on GameFly, after you mentioned it, and it looks cool, but it's like really expensive for a game. Like you would think that would be like a $20 game. It looks kind of like just a low res like modern Crash Bandicoot.
I mean, so it's kind of I could see how it would look like that, but it's on rails, so you're always running, so you can't stop.
Okay.
So it's one of those like Cannonball. And they actually mix it up a lot. So at first, also, if you played the second one, you'd be like, oh, is this just more levels? But even like in the third level, they start mixing it up. There's like these little like flight sequences, like behind the character, like now you're moving upwards on the screen and like shooting like old school like things. So they mix up the gameplay a lot more than just doing your side scrolling.
So is it? This is gonna sound like a weird comparison at first, but you know how like the first level of Nier Automata kind of changes genres like 15 times. Yeah. Aside from the third person combat, like the other kind of it's like a bullet hell, and then it's like a puzzler, and then it's a side scroller, and then kind of like that, but like way less produced.
Yeah, it's still an auto runner at its heart, but they definitely threw in a lot of wacky levels. There's like these quests that you could go on that like you could hit L or R to switch like between the tracks you're running on in some areas, It's like running in the forward track or the backward track. And then like you could find little like NPCs and like talk to them and like in the Wailing Woods, pick up this item and bring it back. So I think like that's on a later level. I have to get an item and then bring it back to that guy. Maybe it unlocks another level. So it's a pretty cool game, honestly. But it's not for the like if you like die 3 times and you get super frustrated, like easily frustrated people. It's not for that. It's you'll lose a lot of progress if you die at like the last inch before the thing and then you have to start all over.
Right.
But it's fun.
Another game before we move on, we can move on after this. I forgot I started playing was Night in the Woods. And man, that is such a game for me. I don't know if it's a game for everyone, but it is such a game for me. The dialogue is so like snarky and sarcastic and self-deprecating, but it's also very smart. And the music is great, and the characters are so like, I don't know. It's like if Oxenfree and like what was the other game I said? It's like Oxenfree meets like Life is Strange. Yeah, I think is what I said. And but it's with anthropomorphic like animals as like the main characters. So like your main character May is she's a cat. And so it's really cute. Not cute. It's really depressing actually, but it's very like it's just such a me game. If you're into those types of games like Oxenfree, I would almost I'll backpedal on what I was about to say. But if you like games like Oxenfree, definitely check it out.
So now that's mostly almost entirely narrative, right? There's very few gameplay things or like...
So there's actually more than I expected. Not a lot. You're still moving your character actively. Like it's not a visual novel.
Like there's no platforming. Like there's no...
There's
like,
very light
platforming sections.
There's light platforming. It's not the main gameplay. But there's also a really cool puzzle element where it almost adds like a Guitar Hero aspect where May is like the bassist of like her band.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And so like cool. You actually have to like play along, and it's almost like playing the what was it? What was the Guitar Hero for DS? It's like almost kind of like that.
That's on tour, but no, it was probably actually more like Rock Band Unplugged.
That's what I was thinking of on Vita. PSP, PSP.
Or
more like that. It's kind of like that. It's like a very light version of Rock Band Unplugged, but yeah, like kind of like that.
Yeah, I like when games just throw music things in.
Came out of nowhere too. I was not expecting that, and I'm like, wait a minute, and I kept fucking it up because I wasn't expecting it. So
yeah, some like when Yakuza 0, like when it was the karaoke thing, I'm like, wait, what the fuck
karaoke?
Is that?
The karaoke part in Yakuza 0. I was like, what is happening?
So now, how are you playing Night in the Woods? Because I always find playing like not text adventure games, but like I guess narrative games like that. I have to really be in like an isolated area, you know, where like if I'm like distracted by things. So are you playing that on what?
I'm playing on Switch.
Okay.
The moments that I find myself playing it are either like late at night, like Tay's asleep or she's watching Grey's Anatomy, and I just put my headphones on and the room's kind of dark, and I can just tune out the TV if it's on, or if she's asleep, you know, it's just the Switch light. Or I play on my lunch breaks at work, and I park in this kind of like isolated part of the parking lot under like there's like a little like a canopy, like kind of like a tree that kind of gives like a canopy type shade. So I play. Those are the two kind of situations where I'm kind of closed off to everything else and just paying attention to that.
Very cool, very cool. But it is not time to play Night in the Woods because it is time for the Hammond Report.
Arr, there be some news. Man, I am not cut out.
A new pirate on the ship. There are 7 items on the list.
A captain's count.
Ooh, nice little spin on it. First up, we have from the PlayStation blog by James Hallahan. Sony revealed the 7 games included in this month's PlayStation Plus lineup. For the month of July 2018, we have Heavy Rain, PS4, Absolver, PS4. Still Call of Duty Black Ops 3 on PS4. I think that is up July 11th, though.
Because it was like mid-month last month.
Yeah, it was yeah.
They probably did a month from when it was added.
Yeah, that makes sense. Rayman 3 HD, PS3. Deception 4, The Nightmare Princess, PS3. They're really scraping that barrel. Space Overlords, PS Vita. And then finally rounding out the trilogy. They never gave the first one, but I don't
think the first one was standalone on Vita. I think it was because it was on DS originally, right?
The game we're talking about is Zero Escape, Zero Time Dilemma for the PS Vita. Those are your 6 games this month. The 999 started off as a DS game, and then Virtue's Last Reward, the second game in the series, came out to both systems, and then eventually became a free plus game where I played it like, wow, it must have been 4 years ago at this point.
So I think that was like right before I had I got my PS4, so I didn't have Plus when that was free, but I ended up buying the No Games collection with 999 and Virtue's Last Reward for like dirt cheap, for like the price of basically just getting 999, and you could only get the first one in that bundle anyways, I think, at least on Vita. So it works out. So I got all 3 games now. Now I just need to play them.
If you're an OG every game ever on Plus guy, and you have those 2 games, but you never downloaded either of them, I would recommend it. Even not playing 999, reading a summary or just like what happened at the end, and then playing Virtue's Last Reward and Zero Time Dilemma, I think are really good games.
My initial reaction to it is that I like it more than Danganronpa. Because they're similar, right? They're kind of similar.
Yeah, similar. Similar, yet different, yeah.
Yeah, I was more drawn to the Virtues or to the Zero Escape games.
Because you were saying it's more Saw-like, you know, it's definitely more horror.
Right. I mean, I know there's horror elements to Danganronpa too, but it's more like that. Danganronpa is more like anime, like DBZ gore. You know what I mean? Whereas
they both get very fucked up. But,
yeah, Zero Escape it gave me like heavy Saw, like the movie Saw vibes. So yeah, that's exactly the way I would describe it. And then Heavy Rain is solid. I still haven't played Beyond. I gave up on Detroit. I'll play that because that seemingly will be a plus game in 2 years.
Yeah, I mean the Heavy Rain actually is a very dick move to people who just like got the special edition of Detroit, which was like $20 more and didn't come with. I think it came with just Heavy Rain as a bonus and like a theme. And how
I think my friend was actually complaining about that because he barely ever touches his PS4. He's more of an Xbox guy, but he plays all the Quantic Dream games, and so he did that. And then I showed him like, hey, Heavy Rain's coming to Plus, and he's like, oh great, I just fucking bought the one that came with Heavy Rain.
Literally a month and a couple days after that weird bundle.
And then Absolver, yeah, go ahead.
Absolver, that's a Devolver digital game. I saw it at their booth. 2017 PAX East. It had one of the longest lines at that entire show. What I heard, I still never played it. Really, still never actually like even looked at gameplay. But what I heard is like a Destiny fighter or something. Game?
Not a fighting, but like a it's like a sword combat or something.
Yeah, and like the upgrade system and gear system. I really don't know much about it, but I actually will give this a try. Very happy this is.
We should do a let's play of it because we should be doing more let's plays.
Yeah, for sure. But there you have it. The Plus games, solid month, not the greatest, not that bad. It's still I'd
say it's a good month. Xbox's games of gold for July is kind of bad. It's kind of weak.
Like two $15 games.
Their last month was good, but this month's kind of weak.
From IGN by Vic Hood, Warner Bros. Has responded to the Bethesda lawsuit in a statement provided to IGN. Quote, as one of the world's leading creators of intellectual property, including the groundbreaking television series Westworld, Warner Bros. Has a deep respect for intellectual property rights. As such, the assertions by Bethesda Softworks that Warner Bros. Westworld mobile game improperly used source code from Bethesda's Fallout Shelter are as surprising as they are unsubstantiated. Warner Bros. Has been assured by the game developer Behavior Interactive that Bethesda's allegations are untrue and that none of Bethesda's code was used in the Westworld game. Moreover, contrary to Bethesda's baseless accusations, Warner Bros. At no time, quote-unquote, induced Behavior to use the Fallout Shelter, be it the company, to use the Fallout Shelter code in Westworld. So if you aren't familiar with the story, two similar mobile games, Fallout Shelter, of course, came out before, and then the Westworld game is pretty much the same thing.
They look exactly the same. So even if they didn't use, like, fucking, like,
and it was the same,
number
it was the
for
same
number,
developer,
the same code.
It was the same developer as well.
So what they're saying is, oh, well, they didn't exactly copy the code, but they probably fucking rebuilt the code because they're the ones that made the code. You know, it looks exactly the same.
I mean, but is that even? Yeah, I guess I don't know enough. Like, if you like started again, but it was still the same, because like you're the same fucking person. You know, you just have the same brain. You're gonna write the code the same way if it's a similar game. I don't really know how that holds up, but Warner Bros. Is taking shots, unsubstantiated claims, baseless accusations. This is going to be interesting if we see Bethesda keep up in court or if they're going to back out, you know. I don't think we have it here, but earlier, I think just a couple days ago, Epic backed out of PUBG. Bluehole backed out of the suing Fortnite. So that's interesting.
Yeah, so I'll take the next one because you don't... I'm more knowledgeable on this than you are, even though Miguel's more knowledgeable than both. But he tried to flip the script on this one, and I caught him. So, Miguel, when you're listening to this, I caught you. Take-Two has announced the cover athlete for NBA 2K19 will be Milwaukee Bucks forward Giannis Antetokounmpo, also known as the Greek Freak. Alternatively, this is what Miguel tried to add in first, Joel Embiid, the third overall pick from the 2014 NBA draft, was revealed to be the cover athlete of EA Sports NBA Live 19, known for his phrase, trust the process. NBA 2K19 launches September 11th, with NBA Live releasing 4 days earlier on September 7th. I don't know how these games are releasing at the same time as each other. It's ridiculous. But good on Live. I guess they don't care about burying their game.
So I'm not, I just am clearly not that knowledgeable on the ins and outs of the series, but I do appreciate how they're doing these, like, literally like god characters as the cover, you know, like they've always been.
Oh, these two are gonna be the next
Well,
you know, I
exactly.
don't know if you're following bad
No,
basketball.
exactly.
But
The
Joel
next thing.
Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo, they're gonna be the next two big ones, man.
No, 100%. I bet they're the next big things, but it's not like, oh, hey, let's put Kobe Bryant on it, or let's put
They also
Michael
chose
Jordan
who
on
it
it.
was before LeBron said he's going to LA. So I guarantee you, if they waited another month for the cover athlete, it would have been LeBron in an LA jersey, or there's
think
going to
they
be a
would've-
special edition with LeBron in an LA jersey.
Didn't they just recently? I remember, maybe I'm misremembering this. Didn't they just recently put LeBron on like several years, like consecutive years or something?
It
No?
was 2 or 3. I think it was 3 years ago. I don't know. But he's so good. It's like you can't
No,
complain
yeah, no,
if he's on it
totally.
again.
But I mean, I feel like when I was playing like sports games, like in the early 2000s, you wouldn't see that many repeat covers. No, I don't know. Maybe that's just my.
I don't
take.
remember NBA covers, but I know like Madden. I think
It'd always be like a different guy. No, it wouldn't be
Yeah,
just
Madden
Tom
would always
Brady
be
every
different.
year.
I think
So
there
I
might
like
have been
the-
someone that was on it twice, but I don't remember who. Probably Tom
I do
Brady.
appreciate the mixing it up with these two new stars. Next up, Overwatch's 28th hero, the tank character Wrecking Ball. That's his name. Wrecking Ball. I was a little confused at that as well.
So his name's not Hammond? I thought his name was Hammond.
This. Oh shit. Fact check that. I'll read the rest of it. Hammond or Wrecking Ball is now live on PTR. As a tank character, Wrecking Ball or Hammond can switch between a bipedal combat mode with high-capacity machine guns and a roll mode, allowing him to cruise through maps and enemies alike with great speed. He also can climb and swing on surfaces using his grappling claw and perform pile drive, a devastating ground smash. So let me know when you get the name. But this character,
Yes, his name is Hammond.
Hammond, interesting. So I don't know
Hammond
what this
the hamster.
quote is from. But yeah, no, so I saw some gameplay of him. I don't know if you saw it. Actually looks like a really interesting character.
It looks like a different take on Diva, which I like.
Yeah. It's another character in a mech suit. I don't think he could ever fight out of it, right? So it's not
No.
like
Nope.
okay. So that's
But
still
he gets
uniquely
the
Diva.
the Wrecking Ball style.
The Wrecking
gameplay.
Ball thing looks like it could change up a lot of. I don't know. It looked like it really mix up. Overwatch is really cool. Like it's pretty much
Any arena type area he can take everyone out in. Like he
Yeah.
just swings around in a circle and just knocks everyone out.
what it looked like from like some gameplay I was watching is like you chain to an area and then like the ball like swings around that kind of.
It's almost like Spider-Man's like swinging from his web. Only
Yeah.
he's a wrecking ball. So
Yeah,
it's kind of
like
similar
you're-
to that.
Like you're lunging yourself.
So Tay and I kind of got a little emotional when they announced him because he kind of looks like our hamster Anakin who passed away a couple months ago. So
Facts.
we got a little upset, but we're excited to play as him in Anakin's honor.
In spirit, yeah, for sure. Maybe he'll have some cool skin. That will
Well,
resemble
I'm
Anakin.
hoping that there's a gray and white skin. We just had to put to sleep our other hamster Luna, so I'm hoping they have a gray and white skin that looks like her too. So even though the character's a guy, we'll still pretend. Yeah. So
Very cool, very cool. And that
not
number
to
also,
get depressing. Sorry.
that number also has such anxiety. 28 heroes. That's really cool.
That's insane.
It's
Moira
kinda,
is still like the one where I was like, did we need Moira?
yeah, but I mean, we needed more to get to Hammond, you know.
I guess.
It's kind of like from melee to smash, like to brawl. Or it's like, whoa, how many characters could they keep getting, you know? And they'll just keep increasing.
Well, the
it.
difference with Smash is that it's characters you already know, whereas this they're making up as they go.
But this is going to be really cool. Excited what they're gonna do for the 30th character. That must be some type of celebration.
Maybe
Next
it'll
up-
be a Terry Crews character, like we were promised.
Ooh,
We were actually never promised it, but I just always assumed Doomfist was
Everyone
going to be
wanted
Terry
it,
Crews. But Terry Crews is too busy doing Crackdown, which is a game that may or may not ever come out.
we'll see. We'll have to see. I'm excited. That game looks interesting.
I mean, it's in Game Pass, so I'll play it.
True. Wow, that's gonna be a free game. Wild. A game after being in development hell for so long, and then just showing up in Game Pass like that. Next up, strategic team-based PSVR shooter Firewall Zero Hour. A name I almost get wrong every time I say it. Will launch August 28th. A Firewall Zero Hour aim bundle will be available, but the price has not been yet revealed. You could assume it's probably around the same that the
$69.99
Farpoint
or $79. I think it was $79.99 for the Farpoint one.
I think it was cheaper because the game was cheaper. But
Oh, right,
around
because
that price
Farpoint
point.
was like $50.
a
I'm probably
little
going to look into the aim bundle. I know you played it and you said it was kind of rough, but I'm going to wait on some reviews because I'm sure they're also going to work on it too.
Yeah, hopefully it was just like E3 demo build type situation.
But it looks
yeah,
cool.
no,
Looks cool.
It really, I mean, when it was working, it felt like Siege in VR, which is a great compliment, you know. And also, I mean, I was kind of surprised that this didn't have a release date up until now. That's
I thought it did.
I don't know. I mean,
Unless the announcement is the bundle.
it could be.
But I thought maybe they said August and just never gave it an actual date.
Yeah. And another piece of information coming from the PlayStation blog: PS View, the streaming cut your cable TV service, is getting a price increase. Starting July 24th, 2018, the price for all PS View multi-channel plans, if you have Access, Core, Elite, and Ultra,
They should have just said all the plans.
will increase by $5. Current subscribers will see this change reflected on the billing cycle at the end of the month. But PS View's add-ons and standalone channels will not be affected by this price change. So I think what that is, that's like if you just were to purchase just like Showtime or something,
Yeah,
right?
you can get like HBO standalone through and all that. They're talking about like if you use it for the TV service itself, like any of the packages that aren't specifically Showtime, HBO, whatever, those are all getting a $5 increase. It's kind of bullshit because I've been loyal to View since I picked it up, since they made it in wider area, because originally it launched in like 10 cities or something, and the second they made it available for everyone, I've been loyal to them since. And now you're going up on my prices, and it's just kind of bullshit because they've taken away features too. A bunch of channels I can't remember off the top. I think ABC is one of them. You can't even watch it live. There's just ABC on demand. So I would have to wait till the next day to watch a show on ABC, even though I'm paying for the fucking TV service. And then they do this, and it's just I don't think it's enough for me to cancel it. But it's enough for me to think, all right, should I be looking at other options?
Yeah, so they cite that the reason for this increase is, quote, to keep pace with rising business costs and enable us to continue offering a better way to watch the best live sports entertainment. It probably does have to do stuff like that, where it's like Disney's playing hardball, because everyone does want to do their own shit. So they're probably just upping their costs, and then PlayStation.
And ABC is owned by Disney, so
yeah.
That's a good point.
So that it's probably the providers and the actual content companies kind of forcing PlayStation's hand. But let's take this as a little dive into small topic of the episode, stots, and kind of check in what PlayStation View is like. So you have been a subscriber for a while now, right?
Pretty much almost. I don't know if I got it like the month that they made it open to all regions, but I had it pretty early on, like once they added, because originally it was in like Chicago and SF and LA and New York, and then they opened it up to anyone that has a PS4 pretty much in the US. I've had it pretty much since then, and I really enjoy it. The DVR is kind of whack. It just randomly deleted some of my DVR movies and shows, just kind of seemingly randomly. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure. It doesn't say they expire, so I don't know if that happened or it got full from another show or what. But that's the only real hiccup I've had with it. Otherwise, it's pretty great. I use it.
Where were you coming from? What type of TV model were you coming from?
So we had Comcast Xfinity, like we had like actual cable.
Okay.
We cut that. We just didn't have TV for a long time, like several months, like maybe 6 to 8 months. We tried a month of Sling TV, but their pricing is just kind of convoluted because it's like, well, it's $20 for the base package, but we would want like one show from a $15 add-on, and then like one show from like a $10 add-on, but we couldn't just make it so that we can make our own package so that it would be $10 for the two shows we want, channels. I mean, so Sling was kind of convoluted. We would have ended up paying more, I think, for Sling at the time, but I'm gonna re-look into them. And that was through Xbox, and I think I can get Sling on the Roku as well. But we use PS View on the Roku as well as the PS4. And I also use it through the computer, so I have my two monitors set up. So if I'm gaming on one monitor and like the World Cup is on the other, or like when the NBA Finals are on, I would have it on the other. Or even like I was watching SmackDown one time while playing Fortnite. So it's cool that you can use it 5 devices simultaneously. So you can't really share it with other people because it does check the network you're on. But like if I want to watch it in one room, Tay can watch it in the other room. So they don't really limit it that much. It runs really well. I mean, we experience some lag sometimes on the Roku, but I think that's more of the Roku's Wi-Fi than it is.
Wait, hold
service.
up. About that multiple devices, can you watch on the road? If you're
you can watch over cellular, because I've done it at work before, like on my break or whatever. But I don't think you can watch it. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if Tay could watch it on our home network while I'm watching on cellular. I'm not sure.
That'd be a cool feature.
So maybe I'll try it out one time. Like maybe I'll like disconnect from my Wi-Fi, watch it on my phone like on LTE and then put it on the PS4, see if they both coexist. So if you can't do it, that's kind of cool. Really, the only issue I've had is it's just kind of expensive. It's like $48 after tax for a decent amount of channels, but you don't really get any extras. I mean, my mom has Showtime and HBO, so I use her logins for that stuff. But what was your question?
What were you paying on Comcast?
Well, we were paying like $1.30 for internet and TV, and then we did the triple play with the phone, but it was just cheaper to do that. We didn't even have a phone hooked up. It was just
so I guess how much do you save?
At this point, it's about the same as what we were. It's just no contract. And it's easier. But we also have the better internet because of that. Like when we got rid of the triple play with Comcast, we were able to upgrade our internet because we just had internet. So now we have good internet. I think it's like it's either 200 or 250 MBS. They keep upping it every now and then, which that's kind of cool. But so it's about the same, but we have better internet because of it. And obviously having View makes it a little more convenient because you don't have to pay for a box in every room. You just like turn on whatever streaming device you use. The downside is that you're always behind by like 10 seconds. So if I'm watching a sports game at the same time as Miguel, he'll ruin it for me all the time. Or like at E3, I had to like shut you guys like out for we were all like texting each other during the one of the events, and I kept putting my phone down like upside down so I wouldn't see your guys' messages. And you'd be like, where are you? And I'll be like, hold on, let me catch up. So that's one of the downsides. It is behind because the nature of it's streaming. It's not cable. So you're going to be behind like 10, 15 seconds. Even like New Year's. We were trying to count down on New Year's, and Tay's like, the ball already fucking dropped. And I was like,
that's funny. That's a good one. When I was at the PlayStation show, that was probably the biggest delay you'll ever get, like being there real time versus someone watching it on View. But yeah, that's cool. So with the $5 recommended, now you're paying $5 more a month. Would you recommend PS View to our listeners?
I think it depends how much you watch TV. Because I watch Raw every Monday, SmackDown every Tuesday. I watch almost every Premier League soccer game on Saturday, Sunday. I watch a lot of hockey. I watch a lot of not a lot of basketball. I watch the finals, like the playoffs rather, and then obviously the finals. I'm gonna try and watch more basketball this year. But I mean, I watch a lot of TV, and like we love the Cooking Network or Food Network, not Cooking Network, it's Food Network. So we watch a lot of Chopped. We watch a lot of Guys Grocery Games and Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, and I watch a lot of Impractical Jokers on True TV. That was like a must. If they didn't have True, I wouldn't have got it. So I watch a good amount of TV. We have it on in the background a lot. If you watch a lot of TV and you can spare it, I say try it. I think they're doing it's either a 7 or a 14-day trial. Check it out. The DVR feature, it is really easy to use, which is nice.
I was going to ask, the UI, the integration into the PlayStation 4, how's that? Does that feel good? Does it look good?
It definitely runs very well.
Is it better than the PlayStation Store? I should ask.
Oh my God, it's like, it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense how like they can't get the PlayStation Store right, but View works really well.
Okay, that's important, 100%.
Yeah, so on PS4 it runs very well. PS3 it's kind of sluggish actually. For a little bit before we got the Roku, I was using it on the PS3 in the bedroom, and it's just so sluggish on the PS3. It runs okay. It runs good, I would say, on the Roku. As far as like scrolling through channels and stuff, and it kind of lagging, but it was noticeably kind of not running as well on PS3. And plus, PS3 never got the 5 hertz Wi-Fi chips, so unless you were hardwired in, I wouldn't recommend it with the PS3 anyways. But yeah, I would definitely, performance-wise, like just kind of ease of use and kind of the way it looks and the guide's really easy to use, I would definitely recommend it from that sense. Again, I haven't used Sling in a while. I know there's a bunch of other ones now. I think YouTube TV is doing stuff now.
Yeah, a lot of competitors.
So I'm gonna start looking into pricing for other stuff, but it is nice that View is just kind of integrated with my ecosystem.
Yeah, that's what I feel like definitely would be something to entice PlayStation users over. Like, I'm thinking getting Sling or getting YouTube Premium, whatever.
Sling, right? I don't think is on PS4 because I think they have a deal with Xbox.
Ooh, even worse. Yeah, and is YouTube TV have an app on PlayStation 4?
I don't know if it's a separate app or if it's just the YouTube. I don't know.
It might be just the YouTube.
Because I think Miguel tried YouTube TV, so we'll ask him about that when he comes back.
But no, it's cool that the PlayStation View is really like part of it. Instead of it doesn't feel like this is something that PlayStation would drop at any point. Like
like PlayStation Now.
PlayStation Now. I mean, integrate a little bit, but
it feels like they could at a dime just be like, all right, this is canceled.
Yeah, What was their music service? They had it was on the Vita.
it
Music
was some
Unlimited.
kind of like clever, but not really that clever name.
Either way, it had a really stupid UI. I think I had like 3 months free when I got my Vita or some weird thing, and I used that for a while. But
What was it
that
called?
was like that didn't integrate at all with my like PlayStation stuff. It felt very foreign to a lot of things.
Because now they're just integrated with Spotify, but they used to have.
Yeah. Though I think it might have actually integrated with the Vita, would play music in the background, but like I don't know, I just feel it wasn't like I guess how you're describing View. But there you have it. That is the annual check-in on how PlayStation View is. You heard it here first. You can't find PlayStation View on the mom and pop shops.
Don't be stealing Greg Miller's phrases. We can have our own
I
phrases.
tried to do something. Here's the list of the PlayStation games coming to every possible PlayStation platform, as read by your best friends for the week of July 3rd, 2018. I think that's the signature bit. Always fuck it up. That's the
Yeah, that's exactly. Music Unlimited is what it used to be called, but I thought it had a name even before that.
Maybe. So this week we had no drop provided by the PlayStation blog, so we had to go and find it our own. First up, we have Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered on PS4. That's coming physical as well on July 3rd. That was the game where you just blow up shit and break shit. Early or mid-gen PS3, Xbox 360 game.
Was Red Faction 2
2
the one where they remastered it and they called it Remastered?
That's this one.
That is this one? This is the Remastered one?
I'm
It's the
pretty sure.
dumbest name.
It has
So
written down here remastered.
It's like a clever idea when you first come up with it, and then you think about it. You're like, people are not going to be able to say this right.
Definitive Edition or what was the other one? The Darksiders one?
It was
Darksiders.
the Darksiders Definitive Edition.
That
and
was
then,
2, but then something with war in the first one.
what was
War,
it?
just something stupid. But yeah, that's a cool game. I enjoyed that demo back when video game demos were a thing in the
War
early-
Mastered is what it was.
War Master, yeah.
Stupid.
Back when demos were a cool thing, I'd download just a shitload of them on my Xbox 360 and PS3, and who would need full games? We also have Runbow coming to PS4 on July 3rd. That's like the 8-player, I guess maybe 4-player only on PlayStation. Side-scrolling game.
That was out on Xbox a while ago. I think that was a Games of Gold game, but it's also coming to Switch.
Yeah,
Not
I think it was
that
out on
far.
all of them, but this is a physical release.
Oh, gotcha.
Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Martyr, PS4 July 5th. I thought,
These
They were
Warhammer
doing
games
something
keep coming.
yeah, what happened to Vermintide, I think? Maybe that's
That's like
another
a
one
different
coming out?
sub-franchise.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think Vermintide 2 came out.
And then lastly, Batman The Enemy Within Retail on PS4 July 6th. I have a good feeling it doesn't come all on disc and that it's just episode 1 and then it's
Episode
going to
1,
have a digital, but
I also have a strong feeling it'll be a plus game in T-minus 3 months.
yeah, right, easy.
That's why I'm not
Buy,
buying any Telltale games anymore. I'm sorry. I'm not. I got burned on too many of them that went free after I bought them.
Yeah. I mean, they go cheap enough that I don't feel that burned. I feel more
If it's
burned.
if it's
buy
one I
Telltale
really
games.
want, like when Stranger Things comes out, that I'll probably, because it always goes on sale literally a month after it comes out.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll pick like Stranger Things up like the month after on sale.
An episode
But
2 or
other ones
something.
like Wolf Among Us and that stuff, I'll wait until it's free.
Yeah,
I did like Batman Season 1 though, but
Yeah,
but it
I
also
bought-
went completely free like not that far after I bought it. So again, it's like, well, what the hell?
I bought season 1 at launch, and then I
So did
got
I.
with that was a huge burn, and then like a month later, 2 months later, it's like $10. I'm like, come on,
Yep,
guys.
that happened to me too. I got it on
so
my
then-
Batman PS4 before I had my Pro.
So there you have it. Red Faction, I guess, came out during a quiet time, so it's getting the attention this week.
Yeah,
moving
this very short list this week. We actually have on our doc that we're looking at. There's actually more space for best friend questions. So
You want
it
to read
looks
this
like
one?
we have 2 questions, right?
We have 2 questions from
I don't think you
Nick.
put the. I don't think you. Well, there's actually 3, but the second one. You forgot
that's
to put
it.
one of them in here. I'll go over this one first. So Jake Jericho from the Facebook group, facebook.com/group/PSBestFriends, where you can join and post your questions to us, which we will answer on the episode. He asked. I don't remember specifically what you said, Jake. I'm sorry we didn't put it in the doc because we forgot. But basically, he asked about the World Cup. The World Cup is fucking awesome. It's absolute nonsense how like the biggest teams are getting knocked out, and like Japan almost knocked out Belgium today, and Germany got knocked out at the group stage. Like, so they didn't even make the knockout round. And all these big Titan teams like Portugal, Ronaldo and Messi, people know those players, you know what I mean? Like I know them, know them, but like the average person will say, "Oh, I know Ronaldo and Messi."
I've heard of
got
them.
knocked out of the World Cup on the same day.
Wow.
So it's crazy. If you're thinking about getting into soccer, now is the time, because the World Cup has been so entertaining. The football has been so good on a quality level. There's been a couple dud games, but for the most part, the quality of the actual football itself has been excellent. The drama between the matches has been insane. The Mexico-Brazil game for the first half was really tense, and then Brazil ran away with it. But like I said, if you're even thinking about getting into soccer, now is the time, because it's such a good tournament. It's not letting anyone down. There's so many surprises, so many teams that you wouldn't expect to be there. Are like Russia. I know it's the home country because it takes place in Russia, but they knocked off Spain, and Spain's supposed to be one of the best countries in the world for soccer. So it's just totally unpredictable, totally awesome. Go check it out if you're interested in it.
Yeah, I was in Baltimore this weekend, and we went to a bar, and they were showing soccer, and I look over, and I'm like, oh, World Cup. And it was a Major League Soccer game, MLS.
Oh, MLS.
I'm like, why are they showing MLS right now? Like, who gives a shit?
Well, what time did you go?
I guess it's in the night, evening.
Yeah, because it's in Russia, so the games are early.
Okay, so maybe
like the games have been at like 10 and 2.
Ooh, that could be it. But yeah, solid report. Then from Nick from the podcast Nerd to the Third, check that out. I think we're going to have a collaboration sometime soon. Why is everyone up in arms about Fallout 76? Wah wah, it's multiplayer. ESO, Elder Scrolls Online turned out okay, and that wasn't even the made Todd Howard team. This one has two things going for it. One, less players to worry about, so we can basically get the same game, only tweaks to accommodate multiple players. And it's during a new time period, so there's so much potential narratively speaking. And then he says, and I'll read it if he's listening.
Let's stop there. Let's answer this, and then we'll do the next part.
Makes sense.
Because it's kind of a two-part question, like two separate questions. So I think the issue is, Nick, that it's the fact that it is Todd Howard's team. That people are saying you could have given this to a team like ESO to experiment with this, but this is actually our next Fallout game. Like there is going to be a Fallout 6. And it's going to be a traditional Fallout game that they've announced. I don't know if they said specifically 6, but they said the next Fallout after this will be a traditional Fallout game. I think the point is we're not sure who was asking for this. Like, I think that everyone kind of just expected that Starfield and then ES6 or TES6 were going to be the next games, and instead we're getting a multiplayer Fallout game. I think that narratively speaking, I think you're right. I think there could be some cool stuff talked about there with the first vaults opening after the war. But I think the issue with this game is going to be, and I'm obviously holding judgment because I want to see if they do address this first, because they haven't really talked about it. I was actually listening to, I believe it was GameScoop, IGN GameScoop last week, and they were talking about like what makes Fallout, and it's having the hundreds of quick saves and being able to restart an old save if you screw something up, or being able to cheese the games in a certain way, or being able to use mods to do weird stuff you couldn't normally do. And you're not going to be able to do any of this in Fallout 76 because it's a persistent online game. I think it's changing the nature of what a Fallout game is. And it could be a cool thing, but I think that's what people are nervous about, is that they're nervous about change. That's what I think. What do you think?
You mentioned earlier about like who's asking for this type of thing. I don't think it's really anything of Bethesda following trends. I genuinely believe this is a game that Todd Howard wants to make. He's done single player games forever, and he knows multiplayer games cool. Like a lot of people do cool things with multiplayer games, whether it's a hero shooter or battle royale. And he just kind of wants to be a creator in that space and see, hey, we make Fallout. Let's try Fallout multiplayer. Like, why not? Like he doesn't want to be pigeonholed into this one creative thing. Oh, it has to be single player. It has to be this. It has to be this. But I think whenever it comes really to large fandoms like this, like especially single player fan bases, like people who like single player games.
That's the thing. A lot of people I'm hearing are worried they're not going to be able to play it by themselves.
Which I don't think you could. I think I read an interview earlier that Todd Howard says, yeah, someone will be in the game you're in.
So you can't play it by yourself, but you will probably run into someone in the real world. Because isn't there a quote somewhere that there's no human character models that aren't played by actual humans.
Yeah, which I don't really understand.
That's kinda
I guess
crazy.
there's just gonna be a lot of robots and stuff.
Sounds a little really extreme to me. Yeah.
But
There's no ghouls yet because Fallout isn't sold.
As long as there's a no, like it's they're all PVE, so I guess like a PVE server pretty much. Like as long as it's like Destiny, and because Destiny you could play single player. I play single player 90% of the time.
That's majority how I play Destiny, single player,
and
then Crucible, obviously.
But I guess I'm even kind of thinking myself, you could make the counter argument where, hey, if Destiny was Halo, though, think about the story, how much better that would be. But I don't know. This like once again, they're trying something different, and I don't think this is just like them doing a spin-off. Like, oh, anyone in the studio could have done that. I don't think they would have given Fallout 76 to the ESO team. Like, no, this is what Todd Howard wants to do.
Oh, I'm not saying that I think that. I'm saying that's the vibe I'm getting from other people when I say
yeah, no, I'm not saying, yeah, once again, yeah. I'm saying that's what...
I'm confident Todd Howard's team is going to make a good game. I'm just not sure if it's a game that I'm interested in.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of like responding to like the Wah babies Nick is talking about.
Fair enough.
But then the second thing, the new time period, that is going to be... I'm super excited for that. Though I guess you could just jump back to what I said about Destiny, about would this be a better story about the first vault opening up if it was single player? Maybe. Like would they have better stuff to work with if it wasn't multiplayer and if it was this more structured story?
Well, because there is something about like when you start Fallout 3 and you finally get out of the vault, and it's like you're getting out of the vault so much. It was Vault 101 in 3, and then it was 111 in 4.
Yep.
And there's something about that moment, similar to like the moment where you go into the vault in 4, where it's just so kind of you get awestruck by it, and you're like, whoa, like the world has changed since I.
Well, I guess maybe he could do something with that because like everyone's coming out of the vault this time. So that's why that's why it's multiplayer, you know?
Yeah, and I guess there is in the narrative, I guess they're saying, like, basically when everyone comes out of the vault, they're all stir crazy, and they're all, like, freaking out of what do we do? We got to, and so I think narratively this game is going to be good. It's just a matter of whether or not
thinking about it, I think it actually
ecosystem is something I want to play.
I think it makes more sense if it is multiplayer because, the other ones are stories about one person leaving the vault. But now it's...
And they're the only person leaving the vault at the time they leave.
Because, actually, wouldn't that be pretty lame if this was a single-player Fallout 76 and it was... Everyone's out of the vault now, but they're just 100 NPCs just, like, walking into walls, like, being stupid. It's like, wait, this is the people who were in the vault? I don't
know. Like I said, I'm reserving judgment for it, but I just don't think it's going to be an ecosystem I want to play in.
This year, though. That's wild. This year.
Yeah.
And then I'll try reading his second question. Speaking of shitting on the creator's vision, Cyberpunk is in FPS better perform seppuku. If this was an other developer, I'd be more he writes Nick in cynical, and think greed has got to them. But this is CD Projekt Red we're talking about. That horse of yours must be baked because it sure is high. Nick, I think you're high right now.
Nick, that is some serious editorialization.
You know what this question is? I don't understand what this question is. I think we should...
Hold on. I'd be more cynical because his name is Nick. I got you. I see what you're doing, Nick.
He entered the word Nick
and greed has got to them. So, hold on. So, is he...
My interpretation is he's saying that that CD Projekt Red went first person because of trends or something, because it's CD Projekt Red,
he trusts
they'll
them?
do good. Yeah, he trusts them. Yeah, that's the feel I'm getting. I don't know.
I think that's I don't. It's not really a question as much as a statement. It seems like. I still haven't seen anything for Cyberpunk. I don't know if they've released anything yet.
The Xbox trailer.
I'm just gonna let it be what it is and just enjoy it for what it is instead of wishing it was a third-person Witcher game. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna wait and see how it looks or see how it plays.
I'm more excited that it's first person. Like,
I think that it's gonna be interesting because I don't think CD Projekt Red has done any first-person games, have they? Have they only done the Witcher series? And I don't even think did they do the first one? They did all three, right?
Yeah, they're definitely a Polish studio.
I know they 100% did too. I think they did the first one as well. The first one's like a really old Windows game. Like it looks like janky as fuck and everything.
Yeah, they did The Witcher 1 and that they only done Witcher games. And Gwent, The Witcher card.
And Gwent, of course. So this is another case kind of like Fallout 76 where the studio's trying new things and I'm totally down for it. I love the theme of like the cyberpunk vibe. I loved Altered Carbon. If they just make Altered Carbon the game, I'm fucking in. So we'll see. I don't know why people are knocking them for it. Like, why? Because you just go play Witcher. Just go start a new Witcher save and you can play it for 9,000 hours. Like, what's your problem?
I'll never understand. And then shout out to I forgot to mention this, the Game Critic Awards, which are like Jeff Keighley's in that, and I think it's like pretty much the same people that do the Judges Week stuff, like those industry elites. Announced their best of show for E3. They said Resident Evil 2. That's interesting. I mean, it looks amazing.
I'm very excited for Resident Evil 2. Very, very excited. Because I have, like, I never beat it as a kid because I was too young and, like, it was gory, so I wasn't allowed to play all that shit. So I'm really excited to go back to it.
Yeah. And then next up, we got a question from MC Hammer. He writes, I like big butts and cannot lie. Do you guys like big butts too? I can't lie either, and I'll say yes. Do
you get sprung? Do you not know that that's the line?
I was trying to do a goof, but then I didn't come up with anything.
You know that song, right?
Where did this question? Yeah, obviously. Where did this question come from? Did you just type it out?
Maybe Miguel just put it in. I don't know, because I was like, who the fuck put that there too? So maybe Miguel. I think I saw Miguel in the doc earlier, so maybe he just put that in last second. Touche, Miguel. Touche.
I thought he was at work. But yeah, there you have it. Lighter episode than usual. We gave a solid look back at PlayStation View. We kind of milked it a little bit, but I think we had some good conversations though. And if anyone's looking to get PS View, definitely try it. Definitely get the trial at least. I know Star Wars Rebels was on DVR, or was on demand rather, but then Nate Hicks, one of our listeners, my co-host on my Star Wars show, hello there, Star Wars Podcast, go check it out on iTunes. He said that only season 4 is on there now, which is the last season, so that kind of sucks. On View.
Miguel says LMAO in our WhatsApp. So I guess he is watching live on YouTube, nice. Which you can also do every Monday night at around 7 o'clock. So I guess he put that in there. So touche, Miguel. This has been PS Best Friends, episode 59. For any questions, comments, and concerns, email us at psbestfriendspod@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Twitter, and that is at PSBF Podcast. Now is also the time of the show where we give our Patreon shout-outs to anyone that backs us for $2 or more, and you can find us on patreon.com/psbestfriends. It'd be a huge help if you can support us on there, become a backer. It's going to help us try new things, and full disclosure, we're not paying for our video service anymore, but we do still have some other expenses that we got to take care of, so do just want to be transparent on that. But we would greatly appreciate your support if you could check us out. Jeffrey, would you like to read off our shout-outs for the week?
Before I do that, and shout-out to, if anyone on Anchor is listening to this, we noticed they increased their audio quality recently, but if you guys could get some premium version up in that, we will gladly jump on that, because Anchor has been a really cool platform for us to be on. We're one of the top gaming podcasts on that platform. Check it out. It's an interesting app.
Anchor actually, this is not sponsored. We're not paid for this. Yeah. I wish we were paid for it, but we're not. But yeah, Anchor's really cool. We've had some growing pains with them. Transitioning the podcast from our old server at Podcast Garden was a little rough. But we're happy at Anchor. So if anyone's listening, you guys are the real MVPs.
Shouts out go to Jake Malore, Nathaniel Hicks, Jack Terzi. Thank you all once again for backing us. Once again, you can get your podcast, CD, band, MySpace page, live journal, any of that shouted out here if you want.
Is live journal even active anymore?
What was the one where you put music on in the early 2000s? Remember?
I mean, I know MySpace, but...
No, MySpace and something else. Whatever.
I don't know. I miss MySpace, man. MySpace was the good old days.
Go try making a MySpace account now. It's a piece of shit.
Dude, it's probably fucking borked.
I know it's not. They redid the whole site, so it's modern, and so none of the old stuff is there.
It's not MySpace anymore. That's what you're saying.
I know, and I'm trying to look for old Andy Cortez band pictures, and I can't even find them.
Man, I wish they just left it alone. Instead of redoing it, leave it alone for the nostalgia factor, and people would eventually go back to it. Especially since Facebook sucks now.
They were too big of a site to have just been left alone like that. In no way. I wish they just froze in 2006, and so they would remain forever in that
They should have just made MySpace2.com.
Yeah,
and make MySpace.
That's smart.
Where can people find you, Jeff?
You can find me Brawl96 on PSN or at Mr. Brawl96 on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
You can find Miguel at DarkAngel1010 on PSN.
Shout out to, I saw, I should post this on the fucking Twitter. I'm playing Bad Company 2 on PS3. Oh, rewind back to the beginning of the episode. I was playing Bad Company 2 this week. I found about 10 players to get like 2 or 3 rush matches going on. Yeah, I wish more people were playing. That game is so fucking good. I played it because I was watching some Battlefield 5 gameplay, and that reminded me of it. But some dude kills me, and it was Miguel Angel 1010. I'm like, wow, that's amazing.
With a J?
I think with a J, yeah.
If it was with a J, that's funny. But yeah, so you can find him DarkAngel1010 on PSN. I think his Twitter is AngelAlvarez10, but he's mostly the one that runs our PS Best Friends Twitter page, our Twitter handle, whatever you want to fucking call it. I don't know. I'm old, man. You can find me on PSN, Xbox One, and Steam, the only X188. I've been playing a lot of Steam games lately, so if you have any suggestions, let me know. Because I think the Steam sale ends 2 days after this episode is live, so let me know. You can also find me on Twitter at Anthony Palm if you want to hear me complain more about Arsenal, which actually I've been pretty happy with them lately, so I'm actually not complaining. I'm going to try and be more positive this year. A lot of changes going on. I'm excited. It's going to be a crazy season. But I'm also talking about the World Cup, and I just talk about random stuff in general, too. So, yeah, that's going to do it for episode 59. One last housekeeping note, if you wouldn't mind just subscribing, give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Even if you don't listen on Apple Podcasts, that's going to be a huge help for us. It's going to get us higher up on the gaming charts and the games and hobbies charts, which will get more people listening, which will get more people into the Facebook group, which will grow our community, and so we would love that. We'd love to have more guys that ask us questions every week and talk with us and share their experiences and stuff. So if you wouldn't mind giving us a 5-star rating, and then it's going to ask for a review. In that review spot, just tell us what your favorite PlayStation game is, and we'll read it on the show. Also, if you want to go on Anchor, give us a little follow and applause on there, too. That'd be cool, because Anchor is a cool website. Any closing notes, Jeff?
Update. It's still been 2 weeks, and not a single beep for my PlayStation, so Mamma Mia.
Ironically, it's been about that long since Black Ops 3 was a free plus game.
Dude, the disc is not going in my system. The disc will not go in my system.
Put that disc in Billy's PS4 and see what happens.
Nice. And then last note, I think it's pretty funny that we've gone without talking about Fortnite at all, even though they had a pretty wild rocket launch. Did you even see that at all or no?
I saw it online. Let's talk about it more next week, because next week is building up to the end of Season 4. So we'll talk about that more next week, because there's a lot of speculation on what Season 4 is going to be. A lot of crazy theories. Tay is thinking, her and I are both of two minds of what's going to happen with Season 5, because the rocket launch from the hidden base, it made a giant crack in the sky. I think it's either going to open a portal for aliens, or it's going to kind of crack like the dimension and send everyone back in time, because they just released a new skin set where it's like noir and it looks kind of like 1920s. So those are my two thoughts on what Season 5 is going to be. But
I heard some murmurs go back in time to Wild West. I think that'd be interesting.
It'd be cool too. So we'll see. We'll talk more about that next week, and Miguel
with more deets.
Talk about how he hates it. But PUBG's fucking great. Play PUBG. Thanks again for listening. This has been This episode's a mess. Thank you for listening if you listened this long. This has been PS Best Friends episode 59, and we will catch you all next week.
Peace.